Japan. This is a country with a culture. This is a country with technology. This is a country with influence. Most of all, this is a country with a history. Without its unique past, it wouldn't have any of these things. The nation's history impacted every aspect of its current state. The island nation of Japan is located in Eastern Asia, within the Pacific Ocean. The north is cool, whereas the south has a tropical warm climate. On this mountain-filled island, an estimated 127 people are packed in, making it the 11th most populated country in the world. The people of Japan are governed by a parliamentary government, meaning that they have a prime minister and parliament, similar to England and Canada. The country also has an emperor who serves as chief of state. Japan has several major industries, ranging from cars to processed foods. One of the most profitable industries in Japan is consumer electronics. Their technological advancements have been revolutionary to the world of electronics, from robots such as Asimo to game consoles such as the Game Boy or PlayStation. Their past, however, definitely doesn't reflect this. For over 200 years, Japan was an isolated island that was not accepting of any foreign ideas. This was caused by interference from European countries, such as Portugal when they brought ideas like Christianity that Japanese governmental officials thought were dangerous and a threat to their country. Japan's choice to be isolated in 1641 impacted the country and the world hugely. Here's everything to know about Japan's bounce back. In the early 1600s, European countries came to Japan, interested in trade and more land. Portugal came in early, bringing gunpowder, guns, and Christianity to the island nation. The Portuguese missionaries tried to force Christianity onto the people of Japan, and the government didn't take too kindly to this. In 1613, Christianity was banned outright by the Tokugawa shogunate. In 1641, 28 years after the banning of Christianity, Japan was closed off from the rest of the world. In the Sakoku policy, Japan became isolated from the rest of the world. This policy started the Tokugawa period of Japan, where only the Japanese shogun were allowed to have technology such as guns and gunpowder. Just to clear up any questions, the shogun was a hereditary line of military commanders. Despite having an emperor who was supposed to run the country, the shogunate usually did his job. The Tokugawa period was a time of prosperity for Japan, but it did set the country back considerably in terms of technology. Led by Commodore Matthew Perry, an American fleet came to Japan in 1852. This is when Japan realized that they were hilariously outgunned, outmanned, and out-teched. The Americans persuaded the Japanese to withdraw from the Sakoku policy, opening the country up to the rest of the world. For the first time in 228 years, Japan was open. From 1854 to the present, Japan has been developing their technology. They went from a country 2 centuries behind to a country on the front lines of tech. Take this as an example. In just 22 years, the video game company Nintendo went from basic 8-bit gaming without color to revolutionary stereoscopic 3D gaming. This evidence just shows that Japan's technology industry and development have come extremely far from their isolated period. At this point, Japan is on the forefront of technological development. For instance, the PlayStation 2 developed by the entertainment company Sony was a major development in video games and home computing. The system was so advanced that in 2000, rumors came out about PlayStations being used by Iraq for military computing. A game console so advanced that it can be a military computer. Yep, British intelligence did find these rumors to be false though. There is one period of Japan that I missed, and I like to call it Nihon no Dakutoshi, or Japan's Dark Years. From the late 1800s to 1945, Japan became involved in multiple wars, despite still being in the midst of developing technology to catch up with the rest of the world. In 1895, Japan fought against China in a small war, which resulted in Japan acquiring Taiwan. 10 years later, Japan fought against Russia in the Russo-Japan War. Japan won this war as well, giving them Korea as a whole. 40 years after acquiring Korea, Japan lost it all. The country took up a fight against the United States in World War II, which cost them both of their colonies. Ever since their loss in 1945, Japan has been peaceful, simply trying to catch up with the rest of the world. Despite this being a strange transitional time for Japan, it did show that the country was capable of great things when it came to technological advancement. Due to the attempted colonization of Japan by Portugal in the 1600s, Japan isolated itself from the rest of the world for over 200 years. After Japan came out of their isolation in 1854, The country's technology was out of date. This motivated Japan to go further with their technological development, surpassing giants such as the United States. Japan is a country with a past that directly impacted its day-to-day. Its culture, its people, and most of all its technology were affected by those 228 years of isolation.